wherever you guys are. I'm Chef Colleen. At home, we are still being socially responsible and distancing ourselves. So we're cooking out of the pantry and out of the freezer. But everybody likes comfort food, so we thought we'd make a little chicken and dumplings today. I happen to have chicken breasts, as you can see right here. Now I would really love some dark meat for this, because anytime you have chicken casseroles or chicken soups, dark meat is so delicious and luscious, but we're gonna do okay with the chicken breasts. So real simple to get started. This is some mirepoix I had left over from another recipe. And mirepoix is just 2 parts onion, 1 part carrot, 1 part celery. And this is about a cup of onion to a 1/2 cup carrot and a 1/2 cup celery. And I'm using a 4-quart pot. So mirepoix in. 4 cups, this is homemade chicken stock, but if you can get chicken stock at the store out of the box, I use that as well. I just have a lot of chicken stock in the freezer right now. Get unsalted chicken stock when you're buying it though, because just the regular stuff tends to have a lot of salt in it, and you can always add, but you can't take out. So again, unsalted chicken stock. I have 2 bay leaves going in, a sprig of thyme. I'm putting in 1 teaspoon of kosher salt, a few cracks of black pepper, just to add some flavoring to the stock. I'm going to use poultry seasoning. Oh, you're too big. That's all right. I can get you. About a teaspoon of poultry seasoning. Yeah, a little more. There we go. Sprinkle that right in there. And then I have, this is about a pound and a third. It's 3 medium chicken breasts. They're kind of free range, organic. They're, again, it's what I had from the store, what I had in the freezer. So that's what we're gonna use. We're gonna put all that right in there, give it a little stir, just to combine everything. All right, now, we're going to take this over to the stove and put it on a medium-high heat to start. Bring it to a boil, then immediately bring it back down to a simmer. You just want the stock barely moving, because we're going to poach this chicken in here for 25 to 35 minutes. Dark meat will probably take longer, but the white meat, it might go pretty fast. So we're going to check it at 25, and if it's at 160 degrees Fahrenheit, we're going to pull it. But until that happens, I'm going to take this over to the stove, and I'll see you in about 25, 35 minutes. All right, see you soon. Oh, well, hi. Well, we've got, the chicken is cooking on low heat, and we've got that simmering with all our aromatics and our chicken stock. We're going to make the dumplings really quick. Now, these could be as easy as just water and flour, but I'm making these a little fancier. I'm going to use the food processor. And what I have is 2 cups of all-purpose flour. And yes, I have a blade in it this time, Marie. I forget what we were making. My sister-in-law and I. And I get all the stuff in there, and I'm going, why won't this go? I didn't put the blade in. Yeah, stuff like that happens. So 2 cups of flour, a 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt, 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Now this is 1/3 cup of butter, and I just cut it up into little pats. I threw it in the freezer for about 15 minutes just to get it nice and cold. This is almost like we're making biscuits, but we're not. It's similar, but not the same. So let's put all that butter in there, and then we're just gonna pulse it. A couple of pulses, and there you go. All right. Put it on. Pulse. What you want to do is pulse this until the butter goes down to little tiny pea sizes. Just a few pulses. And I think we're just about there. Oh, I'm not done with that. This is good. I'm gonna see if I can show you. See, it's just sort of where the butter's in there, but it's down to little tiny pea size. Get that back on there. Now I'm gonna add in 1 egg. And I have 2/3 of a cup of milk here, but I'm not gonna use it all. I'm gonna use about 1/2 cup because you don't want this dough to be really, really tacky because you'll have a hard time working with it. So I'm just kind of mixing 1/2 cup of whole milk or 2% milk, whatever you have at home. Put it right in there. Put the lid back on. We'll pulse it just a couple more times just to incorporate it. Get everything nice and yep, see, it starts coming away from the sides of the bowl. And we're good. Now, I don't think we're going to need any more of the milk, so I'm just going to put these aside. I have extra flour. This is called a bench scraper. If you don't have one, that's fine. You can use the back blade of a knife, but be very, very careful, and a rolling pin. So put some flour out onto a board. We're going to take that dough, there, get that off there. And I'm just going to put a little extra flour on top because it's a little moist. And we're just going to press this out. I don't work with it too much. You don't really want the butter to melt. Just going to pat it down. And then flour your rolling pin. Roll it out. And if it gets sticky or tacky, just use some more flour. You want to get this out to about 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch, because you don't want your dumplings to be, these aren't the kind of dumplings where you scoop them up and put them up and they're like little golf balls. These are more like, it's kind of a cross between a noodle and a biscuit. Because most dumplings are kind of a biscuit batter. And we're not really working this like a noodle. But it's kind of shaped like a noodle. You want it thinner. Keep rolling. You can do it. Get your... And yeah, this is good. That's why I like the bench scraper. You can always check to make sure it's not sticking. And if it is, just get some flour underneath it. That side's good. Just put a little there for caution. Roll it out again. Need it a little thinner. I can hear our chicken going in the back, gently simmering. We'll check its temp and I put it on for 25 minutes. We're going to check it in 7 minutes. But I figured we may as well get these done and ready while we're waiting. See, nice and thin. Now, you can take a sharp knife. This is marble, so I'm going to be very, very careful. I'm not going to use a lot of pressure, and I'm going to cut my dumplings. And the way I want to do it is just kind of go gently over, and I'm going to make them about 1.5 inches thick this way. I'm using a pizza cutter, which is pretty easy. As you can see, you don't have to apply a lot of pressure. Don't cut. Oh, that one was a little wide. Easy, girl, easy. Now this way, I'm going to cut them into little diamonds. So I'm going to go this way then this way. So I'm gonna kind of maybe about see this size? It's kind of maybe an inch and a half by 2 inches. And just keep cutting them along. Again, it's not an exact science, as you can tell. Woo! Those I'm cutting in half. Too big. Easy, Colleen, you can do this. There's no right or wrong way. But these are basically your dumplings. So I'm gonna just flour them up a little so they'll stay nice and non-stick. Put them over to this side. You don't wanna rough them up too much because they are basically a pastry. Well, I made a flour, so they're delicate. All right, Christine, you know what I'm talking about. Delicate. All right, here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna clean this up, leave my nice little dumplings right here. They can air dry for a couple of minutes. I'm gonna bring out a cutting board so that we can shred our chicken once it's done. And then we're gonna kind of wrap this up pretty quickly. Be back in a couple minutes. Have fun till then.